Welcome back, guys. We are doing a quick podcast review of the 25th anniversary Power Rangers episode that aired tonight. It was called Dimensions in Danger. It was a Ninja Steel episode, and it featured 10 classic Rangers. I was a little disappointed in the fact when I saw it on the guide that it was only going to be a half-hour episode.
Yeah.
But they managed to squeeze a lot into that half hour. I mean, it was cool. Like, it could have been much longer, but like it was still a fun episode, like especially for kids. As per usual, I am David Action Jackson on Y'Not Geek Talk today, as usual, joined by my boy
D. Harris. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Representing D. Harris brand. Glad to be here again. Saw an awesome episode of Power Rangers. I was a little disappointed because we got a little bit of, too much condensed.
Yeah, they ran too fast. They ran too fast. That said, we did get some awesome stuff.
Yes, we did.
There were a couple of oh my god moments that Jeannie wishes that she taped me and D reacting to.
Hey, we're big kids, so hey.
Yeah, they better make a toy of some stuff in this show because let me tell you, I'm gonna buy it, and so is D.
So yeah.
I mean, it's a half-hour episode. It's the 25th anniversary. It was awesome to... Honestly, I feel like they accomplished more with this episode than they did with the Legendary Battle.
Oh, they definitely. Legendary Battle, I've made no secret about how off-putting that episode was to me. I don't think anybody really liked that one. I mean, I think maybe they were just trying to sell us a bunch of toys or old stuff, or just trying to give some of us old fans some nostalgia, but Legendary Battle was terrible. I didn't like that whole season as a whole, so... I
didn't mind Mega Force other than some of the actors. Troy. Everybody else was awesome.
Terrible.
Everybody else was awesome. I liked everybody else. Well, I wouldn't say awesome, because Pink was just okay. But Orion was cool. He was just underused.
Yeah. And
Gia was great, and that's because...
Yeah, and what was Azim's character's name?
Jake.
Yeah, he was cool, too.
He was cool, and so was Noah.
I think they were just working with bad material. And they had some bad actors.
Yeah.
Probably should have been a little bit recasted, but
yeah,
we're going to stick on with the positive stuff. We're going to stick on.
I honestly say this 25th anniversary crossover was in my top 3 of the crossovers for Power Rangers so far.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Very well done.
Let's see, my top 3 I'd say were
Once a Ranger and Forever Red have got to be at the top.
Forever Red is probably my number 1 still. Once a Ranger. I'd say Dimensions in Danger trumps Once a Ranger for me. Once a Ranger was good, but I think this one was just a little bit better because I didn't like Operation Overdrive, so I think this kind of airs it out because I honestly really like what they're doing with Ninja Steel, so I kind of dig it.
I'll give you that. I still put Once a Ranger over that, and might be 1 or 2 other team ups we got that I would put over that too. Because what was the SPD one? Their team up with Dino Thunder.
The one that aired was really good. The one that wasn't aired was kind of corny.
But that was really good.
And honestly, that Time Force and Lightspeed Rescue crossover was really good too.
Oh yeah. So this if we are talking about just those 5, then I would put this one from today, Dimensions in Danger from Ninja Steel. I would put that would be the last one.
See, to me, like probably 3
that's
or 4.
Really good. That was still really good.
They did a good job with it. But man, like to see some of these faces back again, it was kind of cool. There's some foreshadowing in this episode, and I was telling D about it because he hasn't caught up yet, to the Soul of the Dragon Power Rangers graphic novel. Because you see, like the first person we see in this episode is Tommy Oliver.
Yep.
And he's even driving his Jeep from Dino Thunder, which was really cool. He mentions his son, JJ, who is the focus of Dimensions in Danger. It's Tommy finding his son. And he's on the phone with who you assume is his wife, who they don't touch on in this, but we've already been told by Kyle Higgins at Power Morphicon that it is indeed Kat. And I think that's awesome. And to see them...
Which we kind of knew already.
Yeah, most
if
of
you
us
watched
knew.
Zeo in that stupid Christmas episode.
Most of us knew. It was kind of cool to see that throwback and to see that foreshadowing. And then, like, they start with a bang right off the bat. Like, then after that, like, Mick comes and gets the Rangers and tells them they got something to work on. And then we get the 3 shrouded characters from those of you that are watching Ninja Steel that showed up in the episode before. They show up and they reveal themselves to be Gemma, Coda, and Wes. The one thing, again, we know this is a kid show. I don't like the fact that Brody knew who all 3 of them were.
Yeah,
well, he knew who Wes was. He knew who Wes was.
So you're what? He even gave you like his last name, his mama's name. Like everybody came. everybody he came in contact with, his social security number. Like, how do you know that?
Right, you should have known. And then they mentioned Tommy Oliver, and they're like, oh yeah, we all know who that is. No, you all shouldn't know who that is.
It's like their Lightspeed Rescue, which season was that before them? Lost Galaxy, when they did their team up?
Yeah.
And the Yellow Ranger on that season sees Leo, and she's like, "You're Leo. How does she know that?
Right,
he was Otherworld."
Especially for her being from somewhere else.
Like, how? Never
mind.
Wait,
no. Oh, you're talking. What's her name? Sasha Craig's character. I can't remember. Yeah, her knowing who Leo was. That didn't
make any sense. He was on Terra Venture. That was like 3 galaxies away.
But man, they did like I don't want to like do a full recap of this because we do that every time we do a damn review. We do a full play-by-play, and I really don't feel like doing that. What I do want to talk about is how this 25th anniversary. By the way, happy National Power Rangers Day to everybody listening. It'll be the day after that I post this, but what I really want to talk about is the fact that we got this 25 years later. We get a crossover. We get a decent crossover for the 25th anniversary. I feel like it made up for the 20th anniversary crossover with Megaforce, and I mean, the nostalgia is hitting like crazy, man. Like, the one thing D and I were saying before this is why is everybody basically on Tommy's nuts, and why is Tommy considered the greatest Ranger? And damn it, he kind of proved why in this episode. Tommy pulls out a MacGuffin. For those of you that don't know what a MacGuffin is the item that the hero or the villain is after. It wasn't necessarily something that they were after, but it was like the most powerful item in this particular episode. Called, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for everybody. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. If you're still listening, I'm going to spoil it. It's called the Master
Morpher.
And Tommy Oliver had a modified Power Morpher that apparently contained the powers of all of his past forms. They don't explain it at all, but the kid in me didn't give a damn that they didn't explain it, because he used Zeo Red, he used White Ranger, he used Green Ranger, and before that we saw him use Dino Thunder, but they don't explain it. Oh my god, that was like the coolest thing ever. I want one, in case you guys are listening to this. Anybody that has a pull.
Screw wanting one. I mean, look, check this out. We have Legacy Morphers. We can do it ourselves.
Yeah, we can make them.
We'll be alright. We'll be alright.
That said, even if I make one, if y'all make an official one, I'm still gonna buy it. That's just how it is.
Yeah, it's gonna have lights and sounds and shit. Yeah,
I try to support the official release because of the fact that means we get more if they do it. I mean, story-wise, it was another character like that was interdimensional that they completely made up for the story. He was breaking through Ranger dimensions, like trying to steal powers. I do feel as if, and I know like D and I have talked about this outside of the podcast, I feel like it was a missed opportunity to bring in Tommy's evil counterpart, Lord Draken. I think that would have made perfect sense, especially with tomorrow being the final issue of Shattered Grid. I think this would have been a good segue into that. I did like what they did still, because it was still a fun episode.
Oh yeah, it was pretty fun.
I honestly don't think Draken would have been a little bit deeper as he, kills Rangers and stuff. So, maybe not suitable for kids, and that's why they didn't go that route. But it was still cool to see some of these faces back. To see Jason Font come back, and Catherine Sutherland, and
Selwyn Ward.
Selwyn Ward, first black leader of the Power Rangers. Yeah. See Yoshi Sudarso. Get to fight along with his brother.
Oh yeah, that was cool to see them both on the same show.
Yeah, on the same show other than the Hyperforce, to see them together on like a Power Rangers TV show.
And really segue real quick, because when he found out his brother was going to be the new Blue Ranger for Ninja Steel. Yeah, I mean, he cried. He cried
because he didn't know. That was awesome that they kept that from him, and then like they actually got to have that. Yeah. I was honestly wondering if there was a third Sudarso for Beast Morphers this year, and that it was going to be that they had a sister and she was going to be the Yellow Ranger. I was going to be like, come on, that'd have been cool. That would have been cool, but it.
So how many kids does y'all mama have?
Right, could have been one of their significant others too. They could have played that card, because I think Yoshi's married. I think Peter might be, but I mean, not to jump the subject, but it was just so cool to see. Steve Cardenas came back.
Oh yeah, Rocky
was back, and I mean Selwyn and Gemma from RPM. I don't remember the actress's name. Jeff Perazzo as Trent was back with a terrible wig. Steven Skyler was back as Antonio. Man, they did such a good job. And I mean, even though it was short-lived, I kind of hope they do like a 45-minute or an hour-long
like they did
DVD cut with the Mega Battle.
Yeah.
Our Legendary Battle.
Yeah, they did the Legendary Battle that way, because they released it I think was it probably like a Saturday before,
yeah, it was Saturday,
and then
and
come like the following
2
week
weeks
they had
ago or
an
something,
hour-long episode,
they
which
did
is really
the full,
45 minutes.
Yeah, I could easily see them do it. Like, and I would buy it. I would easily buy a Blu-ray of this. Like, this was honestly, I would buy a Blu-ray of the regular cut of this. It was a good episode.
It was fun.
This was definitely something that's gonna be hard to top 5 years from now if they do a 30th anniversary.
This episode kind of like took me back to when we were kids and everything. After school. Well, in our case today, it was after work. You run to your best friend's house so you can watch Power Rangers together.
Yeah, this was pretty cool. The fact that we got to watch it together made it even better.
Yeah.
And we got to watch it with my daughter, too, who loved it just as much. She was cheering on all the girls. She was like, go White Ranger, and go go Pink Ranger, and go Yellow Ranger. And, yeah, she had a blast. And I like that they did that. Like, they did it with a minimum amount of effort, honestly, because, like, the bad guy created a bunch of Ranger clones, and it was all CGI, other than, like, the few stunt actors they had in the suits. But they cut corners, but they didn't cut quality, I guess, would be what I want to say.
Yeah, sometimes with that, so you don't have to cut the quality, and I'm speaking from a production aspect, because it's pretty much what I went to school for, so bear with me, guys. But when you do that, less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more. If you want to keep the quality, sometimes less is more. If you overdo it, it can just come out, I hate to keep talking about it, it could come out like Legendary Battle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we know where the budget went for this, though. We know where the budget went.
Oh, yeah.
The budget went to 2 things, and both of them are Tommy Oliver related. The Master Morpher and the thing we haven't talked about yet. Y'all, we got the damn Falcon Zord again. We got the Falcon Zord back. You heard me right. We got the Falcon Zord back. They brought in the Falcon Zord. I was so excited. I didn't even think I would care when he summoned it, but then I was like, oh my god, we got the Falcon Zord. Actually, I really thought he was going to do the White Tiger when he morphed to White Ranger. I was like, he's going to call on the Tiger Zord.
It makes sense because if we go back, the Falcon Zord was never destroyed. It was just not used anymore, period.
Right.
Because they didn't have access to it. And then the Tiger Zord was destroyed, so what else is he going to summon?
Yeah, the Tiger Zord lost his head.
And then it just collapsed like
it just fell over.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, seeing the Falcon Zord again, I thought they were going to do Rockets Away. I was hoping he did Rockets Away. Man. I was like, he's going to do Rockets Away, and he didn't do it. But, man, that just made the icing just be right on top of the cake for me with that one, because we saw him just morphing at will, basically. He went straight to Zero Ranger 5, and me and you are jumping out of our seats like, holy shit!
Yeah. When he said, well, okay, guys, there was an evil clone Tommy Oliver. It was a robot. And they were fighting. Actually, D laughed his head off, because you see Tommy walking, and then out of nowhere, he just takes a flying side kick to the ribs, and D laughed for a good 5 minutes straight on that.
Bro, I try to keep it PG when I'm talking about Power Rangers, but he kicked the shit out of Tommy.
He blindsided the hell out of him.
He kicked the shit out of his ass.
And Tommy did a good job playing double duty in this. He did a good job playing evil. But that's where we know him from in the first place. But then he goes, you can't defeat me with your puny powers. And Tommy goes, unless you have a Master Morpher, you can't take me. And Dee and I were both like, Master Morpher?
The hell is that?
And then he stands up, pulls out the Morpher, goes, it's morphin' time, Zeo Ranger 5 red. And I was like, what? Both of us jumped out of the seat, super excited and shit, because it was awesome. And it was definitely, that's the toy I want. Please, somebody make me a Master Morpher. Somebody. I want all. Truthfully, I don't even need a Master Morpher. I just need the coins for it, because I have.
It's okay. We just have a project to do. We just have a project. 2 personal projects. We're just going to be cutting up our legacy stuff. Who knows? We might be getting new ones anyway from Hasbro.
Right. Lord knows. I am super pumped. This episode's got my adrenaline high. Like, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this. Again, I went into it disappointed that it was going to be a half hour long, but in that half hour, they brought back 25 years of me watching this show. And actually, there was a contest. David Jones put a contest up on Instagram, hint, hint, wink, wink, D, for you could win a prize pack. And it's like, what's Power, in 5 words or less, what's Power Rangers mean to you? No, I mean, what got you, what do you love about Power Rangers? And I said, the two things I said were inclusion and diversity. because this is one of the
Absolutely.
only superhero shows we've gotten like for 25 years consistently that has been about inclusion and diversity. There have been girl rangers, boy rangers, black rangers, white rangers, Middle Eastern rangers,
Native
Asian
American.
rangers,
We've had them
Native
all.
American. They've covered just about the entire spectrum, and they have done such a good job putting people into these places, into these roles, and accepting it. And then we finally, after years in Samurai, we finally got a female Red Ranger as a leader, as a positive leader, because we got a female Red in SPD in the form of SPD A Squad, but she was evil. And actually here in Chiplin at the SPD panel from Power Morpicon, those are all on YouTube. I'll send them to you.
Okay.
He said that they fought so hard to get girls to do things, to be able to do things. Like they argued, like Disney argued about it. And then like I actually recently found out that Ninja Steel, one of the plot devices that they wanted to use was they wanted because Calvin and Haley are together in the show. They wanted Calvin to break up with Haley and get with Sarah. And it's like, first and foremost, the Power Rangers. They wouldn't do that to each other. Secondly, the girls went to the production and was like, no, because we need little girls to know not to disrespect each other like that.
Yep.
You guys are supposed to be best friends. Now you're dating my best friend. Now you're dating my boyfriend.
On the same team.
Yeah. Like, I can understand if we had like a Ninja Storm thing to where it was two separate teams. Kind of, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like, even if they adapt Q Ranger at some point, because there are 11 Rangers on that team, stuff might go down. I can't see them being able to keep it as one solid team in the States. Man, they did such a good job with this. I can't wait for the reruns. I'm super excited for it. I really... Like, we're not even that long into a podcast. We're only 17 minutes into this.
And we're rocking and rolling, though.
And, oh, God, this really made me feel good again. Like,
that's what I was saying. Is like after school feeling. You watch,
Yeah.
go to your buddy's house. You watch Power Rangers, and we're a little too big to go outside and play Power Rangers after we watch it. But
plus D would kick my ass nowadays.
but hey, we got our helmets with us.
Right, we do. There'll be pictures. D has his helmet. Jeannie wore hers. I wore mine, and Layla wore her half helmet, her Blue Ranger Dino Charge helmet. There's got to be a place to sell little kids suits because this girl wants a suit so bad.
We can make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can find Sadie one, we can definitely find her.
Yeah,
one.
She wants a suit. We got to get the kid a
The
suit.
thing is, they're the same color. Sadie and Layla.
Well, Layla,
both like blue.
Layla wants pink now. Layla wants a pink suit now.
Uh-oh.
So, and you know what though? When Beast Morphers comes out, she'll want yellow. So we need to.
Right.
That actually, the Beast Morpher suit might actually be easier to pull off since it's just a jacket.
Might be able to make that.
Yeah, since it's just a jacket and pants, might be able to pull that
That's
off.
going to be another fun project.
Beast Morphers is going to be a great series. And I feel so good about Power Rangers being back on track now. Even though this was a Saban episode still, I'm more hype about Hasbro having him now. I'm more excited about Hasbro being in charge of it. Because honestly, and D and I'll tell you this, we're Transformers fans from back in the 80s, and Hasbro has only been missed on a few series, and there's been like 18 Transformers series.
Yeah.
So, like, Beast Machines...
That was a miss. Robots in Disguise
Robots in Disguise wasn't entirely terrible because they didn't have much to work with because they were just dubbing an anime.
Yeah.
But then the Unicron trilogy, like, Energon was garbage, and what was the last part?
Those were just means to sell toys at that point.
Yeah.
They were buying time.
Cybertron was fun. Energon... Oh, Armada. Armada was the first one.
Yeah.
Armada was
that kicked
mediocre.
off with a big movie.
Yeah. But, like... So Hasbro hasn't, like, in 35 years' time, Hasbro hasn't really gone, oh, you know what? We're going to drop the ball on Transformers completely. We're still fans. And have been since we were little. I mean, even with the Bayverse movies, we're still fans.
I mean, shit, look at my damn car.
Right. Right. I have a Transformers tattoo. For those of you that don't know, I have an Autobot logo on my arm. I'm getting the Power Rangers one soon, too.
You getting Thunderbolt or your coin?
I'm thinking both. I might actually get the Shattered Thunderbolt from Shattered Grid because I think that design is really cool. And then get, like, the Tyrannosaurus coin over here. Right. Or actually the Starlight Studios coin with the Tyrannosaurus and...
Coming out of the Jade, the King Ranger symbol?
Yeah. I'll do that because nobody else will have it. So,
nope.
Now that I put it into the ether, though, somebody's going to grab it. But yeah, overall, man, like, Power Rangers as a whole for the last 25 years has taught me about friendship, determination, teamwork, and just being a better person. Like, I mean, to say that as a 34-year-old grown man, it might seem a little weird, but, like, I was 9 years old when this show started, and it's kept my attention the entire time. There have been a few few ball drops in the form of, like, I didn't dig Mystic Force. I really didn't dig Wild Force, to think of it. Like, it was just okay.
No,
like,
I
Once a
forgot
Ranger
about
was
that one.
awesome.
I didn't like that one either.
Wild Force, you know what, though? When it comes down to it, Wild Force's story was probably the best after the Zordon era because of what they did with Cole's parents. It was acted very badly.
Yeah,
Cole,
the execution is another thing
Yeah.
than how it was written.
because the rest of the team wasn't bad. Cole was just bad. Cole was bad. We see where he is now.
Yeah, he's and I found out they found him on some kind of reality show on VH1 back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was trying to get with this old chick, which was weird. It was called Kept.
That's really weird.
Yeah, it was very weird.
It's really weird.
He was trying to be a kept man.
Oh, and then they got him as an actor for a power. What?
Yeah, this is after the fact. Yeah. Weird, huh? Yeah, like on the subject of what Power Rangers, like, this has been 25 years.
Yep.
It's the anniversary today. Hashtag National Power Rangers Day. I've been posting stuff all day myself because this has been it's been a big part of my childhood growing up. Like, I think you said you were 9, so that means I was 7. I was in just right before first grade when the show started, and I've been on and off watching the show. I didn't really get back into watching Power Rangers until I was able to get the Shout Factory DVD sets because I hadn't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
And just brought back all the nostalgia and all the good feelings about it. Plus, I got to see a bunch of seasons that I hadn't seen before. But like this show, like you said, it teaches you teamwork and compassion and just being a good person. And then with me growing up being like, at one point I was a smaller kid, and then I got to a point where I was a bigger kid, but I was one of those bigger kids that got a little poked at because I was a little bit heavier. I'd like to see you try that shit now. Anyway, but yeah, it inspired.
Phenomenal.
It inspired me to to like get into martial arts and to not be afraid to be yourself. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that at least when we were growing up, TV shows had a lot of good messages on them. Like, yeah, I mean, we had like the Parents Council back then talk about how violent the show was, but they weren't really cutting people's heads off and stuff.
That's why actually in season 3, if you notice, they stopped using the Blade Blaster.
Yep.
And that's why they didn't use the Blade Blaster in the movie, even though they made specific Blade Blasters for the movie.
Yeah.
And then we never got to see them.
Yeah, because they, guns were bad. Guns are bad. Okay. Yeah, Power Rangers. I mean, it gets a lot of flack for being either too kiddie or too cartoonish, or those aren't real heroes. They're just people in spandex or whatever. But I mean, I was never like, I always liked the X-Men. I like certain DC heroes, stuff like that, different Marvel heroes. But the only ones that really stuck with me growing up were the Power Rangers. I love the Power Rangers. I like Transformers too. Don't get me wrong, but even though the Autobots were heroes they
weren't relatable to us.
Yeah, they weren't human. These people were kids.
Here's the thing that people don't realize a lot either, though. As black men, we didn't have a lot of heroes.
No, we did not.
So, like, yeah, we had Bishop eventually on season 2 of X-Men. Mm-hmm. We had Storm on all of it, but we didn't have somebody to be like, that guy looks kind of like me, and is doing things that I might be able to do. Until Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. We got Power Rangers, and we got Walter Emmanuel Jones playing Zack, the Black Ranger. And it's like, okay, this dude is in the music I'm into. He's dressing the way I am, because we all dressed like that in the 90s. Don't front like y'all didn't dress like that in the 90s.
Hey, even looking back, he was smooth, though.
He was.
With his outfits.
He was.
He looked more like Bobby Brown when he was dressing up, though.
And he's black. And like this was one of those things that was like, that stood out to me. My brother... It stood up to me and my brother. Like, my brother's a dancer and everything, and like to see a black dude using hip hop in a martial arts form was awesome. And like, we got this guy that was like, oh man, like he morphs into a superhero and he pilots a giant robot, because giant robots have always been my thing. And like, he's got one of the coolest weapons on the show in the form of the power axe. Mm-hmm. And like, he wasn't downtrodden. He didn't come from a broken family, because we see Zach's parents. He didn't come from the hood. He wasn't a drug addict. His parents weren't drug addicts. He was a kid on the honor roll that was in extracurriculars and hung with his friends at the juice bar that happened to be picked to be a superhero. And that was what was up.
And let's fast forward a couple seasons up to TJ and Jack, And those two guys were black guys who happened to be leaders of their respective teams, and that showed us, like, you can be in the forefront, you can be a leader. You don't. It was, especially at the time when reality TV was getting big. We saw a positive, especially for kids at that time. We saw a positive example of how to, be a hero, how to be a leader. How to be compassionate, how to, like, especially in Jack's case, and in Zach too, because they have some parallels in their respective seasons. Like, it's okay to mess up. Yeah, but it's all about how you come back from it.
Look at the way they played TJ. Look at the way he was played. He came out of nowhere, like, from where I can't remember where he's from, but he came to Angel Grove, and, like, the reason that Tommy picked him to be his replacement is because he showed those skills of leadership. He showed those skills of courage and bravery. He showed that he could take a punch for someone and also give a punch to protect someone. He showed that he didn't have a problem with standing up for his fellow man. And that was shown as a black character in a leadership role, which is something we hadn't gotten yet. We got a little bit of Storm as a leader and some X-Men stuff, but not much. Like, we know in the comics that Storm had led the team several times, but they really didn't focus on her on the cartoon. We didn't see characters like Black Panther till later, and when we did, they were bit characters in the cartoon. We didn't really see him big in shows, and we didn't see, when we saw Blade in the Spider-Man cartoon, it wasn't until later that you realized that he's a bigger deal than he was, because they made it seem like, oh, he's just a background Spider-Man character. But then you get, again, Zach, who wasn't a background character. And then you go from Zach, we get Aisha. Mm-hmm. We can't skip Aisha, who is the replacement Yellow Ranger for Mighty Morphin. Aisha was a strong, powerful female that was a great fighter, a good dancer, and a great friend.
Yeah, she came in with Adam and Rocky in the when they were in that ninja tournament.
Yep.
People seem to forget that.
Yeah, they were the three best fighters out of Stone Canyon. And they wrecked the Angel Grove team. And then let's not forget, from Aisha, we moved to Tanya, who was actually African and was one of the... I think Tanya was one of the highlights of Zeo, personally.
Yeah.
It was cool to get to know her character, and especially to see her on just a season and a half, and we see her grow and to be the character that... People remember her. Nakia gets recognized all the time. And then from there, we move on to TJ, who was yet again a great character. And he took that leadership role and he took it in stride. And then they moved from TJ being a leader to the Blue Ranger on in space, but he was still level-headed. He was still the person that Andros went to for advice. He helped Andros on Earth when they went to Earth. And then we get Damon in Lost Galaxy, and Damon was Damon was Lost Galaxy.
Yeah, he was.
He was the mechanic who didn't want to be a hero, but he stepped up when he needed to. And I mean, we could go through all the seasons easily.
Yeah, I mean, this just shows you that at the end of the day, representation matters.
Yeah,
it definitely matters. Like you see, listen to us. Like, we've been watching this show on and off for its entire existence. Yeah. I mean, damn it, it's been on 25 years today.
26 seasons today.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
and then they're already working on next season. So
and we get another black leader. We get another black leader next season.
Yep. It's just nice to see, like, that guy looks like me.
Yeah.
And he's doing something awesome, and he's a hero.
My daughter reacts like that. Dee's girlfriend's daughter reacts like that. These kids see somebody that looks like them, and they get excited about it. Because that's what it's about. We get excited. Okay, in the background right now, there's a Ninja Turtles commercial on the TV, which is on mute. But Ninja Turtles is a great show, but I can't relate to a giant reptile.
I'm not green.
Right. Same thing with Transformers. I can't relate to a robot that turns into a car. Like, that's not the way life works. It's the same reason that I've always, for the majority up until recently, have made a difference in Marvel and DC Comics. Because with Marvel, you can relate to those characters because they have human problems. With DC, I can't relate to Batman because he had a psychotic break when he was 8 years old.
Right.
I can't relate to Superman because he's been a god since he was born. That's the problem. Now I get those characters as an adult and as they've written them more realistic in the last few years. But with Marvel, I've always related to them. Now the same thing with the Power Rangers. Even if I don't like a season, there's at least 3 characters on that season that I relate to because they've gone through something similar. They have the same attitude. They have the same upbringing. Something about that character makes me go, I get it, man. I get it. I totally get it. I would be you if I were in this universe. This would be me. He talked about Jack, and what I liked about Jack Landers from SPD was he didn't start out as a hero. Well, he didn't start out as a superhero. He started out as a hero. Because Jack and Z
like
were
a Robin Hood.
Yeah. They were robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. Which, I mean, by all rights and purposes, seems like it's a bad thing. But Commander Kruger sees something in those two and makes them Rangers. And he eventually makes Jack.
Diversity, shit. Commander Kruger's was a dog.
A blue dog.
A blue dog.
A blue space dog.
With reptilian skin.
Whose head apparently caught on fire at first day of shooting. That's, again, in that panel.
Yep.
And then, I mean, let's not forget about Xenowing and...
Yeah, we even had
Dino
aliens.
Charge. And the whole Alien Ranger team.
Right? Yeah.
The Aquitian Rangers. That was really cool. For real, like, this is... what I want to say about this is, like, for years I got made fun of for liking this stuff. I remember girls picking on me and all that growing up.
I got picked, like, this is like 4th grade.
Yeah.
Like, man, I remember kids picking on me so bad for liking Power Rangers.
But now, as with everything else that's in this realm of the universe... now it's the cool thing to be into. Now we're the cool guys, and it's like, no, we always have been. We always have been.
Like, for all you people tagging us and shit that we've seen like 6 months ago that you're just now getting excited about.
Let me tell you about that Green Ranger on the motorcycle picture meme that I've been tagged in 36
I've been tagged
times.
in that. I'm still getting tagged in that terrible, what's his name, James Caan, that did that stupid Power Slash Rangers movie.
Oh, Adi Shankar.
That.
That's Adi Shankar. That's not James Caan.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was, yes. We know, we've seen, I synced it.
Yeah. Just assume if it's Power Rangers that the two people that are on this podcast have seen it. Assume if it's Transformers that the two people on this podcast have seen it. If we haven't, you'll know, because we'll share it and be like, oh man, I didn't see this.
And it'll be way before you saw it.
It really will. It'll be like 3 weeks before you post it. So before all of y'all get on the internet and see the Bat in the Sun Power Rangers Legacy Wars Street Fighter Power Rangers crossover live action series is coming out, we already know. Don't send it to me. I'll see it 2 days before you do.
We were talking about this 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah. I will see it way before you do. Yes, I know Ryu from Street Fighter is a Power Ranger. Yes, Ryu is my favorite character from Street Fighter.
By the way, segue, when they did that, people listening won't know, but they kind of took my idea for that video as a Power Ranger.
They really did. I unintentionally pissed D off that day. When they showed it, I sent it to him. He's like, God damn it!
Yeah, for give you guys some background on that, just for my friends. So it's, which is probably why nobody's seeing it, obviously. But just for my friends on our Power Rangers Neo group on our Facebook group, I do a special comic. It's called Power Rangers Neo. When I just basically take still shots of different action figures and different situations. I made a pretty elaborate story about it all. So in my story, basically, Ryu was a Power Ranger, and that's what happened with Bat in the Sun. They took my idea.
Yeah, Ryu.
I can't even say they took my idea. We just great minds think alike.
Yeah, because they changed it. Ryu's actually got his own power set. Like you made him a Ranger that was already in existence. Yeah. Which, mind you, don't get me wrong, I love your comic. I do. I'm also excited to see what Bat in the Sun does.
Oh yeah, I am too. Especially when Tommy just in that little preview they did, he just tossed him a morpher and said, "Here you go, it's morphin' time."
Yeah.
He looks at his hand. It's like, whoa. What kind of bird is this?
Gives him a power coin, yeah.
Yeah, what's this suit gonna look like?
Yeah, right.
And this is kind of things that keeps us interested in this. Yeah, we know like this at this point in the game, Power Rangers and a lot of other things that we like. It's not for us. It's for a different generation.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, though, is we are the type of people that know that, though. There's a lot of people that don't understand that.
This is not our Rangers. It's not. It ruined my childhood. You are a grown-ass person now. Right. Your childhood's been over with.
There's no such thing as ruining your childhood unless they use the Time Force Megazord, go back in time, and actually ruin your childhood.
Create some kind of crack in the space-time continuum? Yeah, I've been watching the comics.
Yeah. Shattered Grid.
Yeah, that's
another podcast I want to do. You got to catch up because I want to review all of Shattered Grid. We got to get Stouffer on for that too, and John.
Oh man, it's don't get me wrong, it's interesting, it's good, but
but that's why we need to do it because we have that counterpoint.
Yeah,
These are purist guys.
I don't want to say I'm a purist.
These are purist guys.
I don't know.
There's adult themes and situations in the comics, and D don't like it.
Are there?
Not like sex or anything like that.
But how did I miss that? I'm on issue 22.
It's been a while, guys, but by now, if you're not reading the comics, I'm going to do it anyway. Tommy gets stabbed in the back by Tommy. How's it happen? I guess you better read it.
Bro, I think that's been like leaked multiple times already.
Oh yeah, it leaked the day it happened.
JDF even recreated the entire picture.
Man, what happened? I saw. You're not there yet.
Don't spoil it for me.
Something else happens that involves Draken, and I saw it the day before the comic came out because somebody had it already and scanned it, and I was like, "Are you serious? Like, why would you post that today, man? Like, the comic comes out tomorrow." Like, I really wish Tony was doing a midnight tonight, and I didn't have to get up at 5 to get my daughter on the bus because I would go get my comic tonight.
Yeah,
but not enough people. That's
going to be something. Since that's going to be the last issue, that's really going to be something you got to take your time and watch out. Or read, excuse me.
Yeah, I'll be reading it on lunch tomorrow.
1 page per day or something like that, right?
I'm reading it on lunch tomorrow, and then when I come home tomorrow night, I'm going to read it again. And then on Thursday, when I'm off, I'm going to read it again.
It's one of the things you just want to savor, you know?
Yeah.
I forgot what my first issue was that you actually, I think, gave me for my birthday. 0, right?
Yep. It was a Black Ranger issue.
Yeah, with Zach on the cover.
Yep. Because I had 3 of those for some odd reason.
I still got it in the plastic, but I read it on the airplane when I was taking a trip, and it was. I could see why people like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. Is like the only thing. Okay, the one thing I will say is not Power Rangers is that Power/Rangers. That's the one thing I will say is not Power Rangers. Had that have been called literally anything else, I would have watched it and enjoyed it. But there were several things about that made me go, okay, this isn't Power Rangers. And it irritated me that, a particular character, by now it's been 2.5, 3 years since this came out. They made Zach the Black Ranger yet again, like he is, but they made him be the one that's strung out on drugs and
they made him be like strung out Bobby Brown.
Yeah, and that kind of hit me hard. That pissed me off.
Yeah, and he had like prostitutes in the bed, and remember there was a lot of nudity in the original release of that.
Yeah,
too.
What bothers me even more about that is Adi Shankar said that he goes, "Oh well, this isn't." I'm not really a fan. This wasn't really a fan film. I was just toying around making this. But then when Saban filed that cease and desist, he was like, "Oh, we got to fight to get my fan film back up." It's like, yeah, but you said you're not a fan, bro. Like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
you're not a fan.
It's not a fan film.
This was his audition tape. This was him trying to, because this was after they announced the Power Rangers movie was coming, but they hadn't announced the creative team. This was his way of trying to get his foot in the door, and thank Primus it didn't work. Now, mind you, I like some of his other work, and you might too. I don't know if you've watched it or not yet. Castlevania on Netflix is him.
I checked that out.
I dig it. I thought that was really good. Other than the fact that there were only 4 episodes of it. I was like, where's the rest? I need to know what happens next. And I had to wait a whole year. Like, we're not getting it until October of this year. But, like, that Power Rangers wasn't... That's not what that was. That was somebody that, like you said, was not a fan of the property and was like, oh, they're heroes that morph. And, like, I know a little bit of the lore, so let's throw that in there. And none of it didn't make sense. And the suits were stupid.
And I don't care what anybody says, the 2017 movie was 100 times better than that.
Oh, yeah, easily. I love the 2017 movie.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that IGN released a statement saying that Hasbro is going to move forward with that franchise. Yeah. It's not going to be a reboot when they get ready to make another movie.
Now, like that said, that doesn't mean it's a direct sequel that takes place immediately after this movie.
Right.
That's what a lot of people don't realize. By the time we see it, they could have already established a 6th Ranger. I hope they don't. I just kind of like to see that story.
They have to tell that story. At least in the first 2 acts, and then they can move on.
Yeah.
They can find a resolution by the first 2 acts.
I'm honestly thinking by the 3rd act, they go straight to Zeo. Because they mentioned the Zeo Crystal for a reason. That script is out there somewhere. Like, I don't think we just have the Zeo Crystal and we're not going to get upgrading the Zeo powers.
Yeah, and this is all speculation. We're just spitballing here because obviously we're fans of the property. But I'm just thinking, like, maybe the Zeo Crystal could be used to
purify the Dragon Coin and make the White Ranger?
Yeah, do that or just be something else that gives them power. They'll still probably be the Power Rangers as we know them in that universe.
Maybe get an upgrade.
But it'll be an upgrade.
Streamlined
the
suits.
Zeo upgrade or something like that, yeah.
They all get shields like Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Something crazy like that.
Yeah. I mean, this really feels like it's going to be the shortest podcast. Oh, no. You know what? The shortest one I ever did was with my dad when me and my dad reviewed Black Panther.
The Black Panther, yeah.
That
was actually really cool.
That was only 46 minutes long. Yeah. We still need to come back to that. To be blunt, I need to get some white folks on the Black Panther panel.
But I know what I think we should do that when, let's give it another few months, and then we can do a Black Panther Revisited and see how we've taken it in since then.
Yeah, especially with all the other Marvel stuff in the pipeline still, because by then we should have a Captain Marvel trailer and stuff. And we do need to come back and talk Infinity War at some point too. Tommy could kick Thanos' ass. Yeah, I said it. With that Master Morpher, Tommy could kick Thanos' ass. I normally wouldn't. Like a week ago, I would have been like, nah, y'all stop riding Tommy's nuts. But after tonight, yeah.
Tommy was in rare form tonight.
I really this was really to shut up people like me and Dita, where we're like, man, we're tired of David Frank. We like him, but can we move on and focus on another Ranger? And then they're like, oh, they gave him a Master Morpher, and I'm like, oh, I hate you, because now I love him all over again.
Yeah, but I was talking to Dave too about a theory I have, like not JDF, but why Tommy is still so heavily involved in trying to save the world and still Power Rangering, basically. Yeah, like I just felt like, Tommy, back when he was evil, he did a lot of bad, and he's still trying to atone for his sins of the past, and it seems like whatever he does isn't good enough, so he's still working at being a Power Ranger, which is why he, got the team together for Forever Red, which is why he, developed the powers surrounding the Dino Gems and all that stuff, and creating the Master Morpher. And
because I feel like Tommy's. I mean, I don't know if you know of what Power Rangers the Hexagon is. It's what the Ninja Storm series was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like this big culmination of all the teams.
Yeah.
And Tommy was basically going to be the Zordon character, like not trapped in a time warp, though. I really think that's where they're leading to with this particular character. Is not necessarily trapped in a time warp, but Tommy's going to be that overall mentor to all the Ranger teams.
Well, we still yet to have a true successor to Zordon, so that could be what happens. Ooh. But, somebody's going to have to cut that check to JDF and see if he really wants to come back to TV like that.
If they do it on TV, though. Like, I mean, it could just be like, when they finally end the mythos, they talk about it in that, like, Tommy Oliver has taken the reins as the new mentor for all Ranger teams. And
yeah, that could make sense.
I mean, I don't think Power Rangers is going anywhere for quite a while.
Hey, it's lasted this long, and trust me, like I remember when I was in like 9th grade, and I think I was getting up early one morning, and I just happened to see, I think Time Force was on the air at the time. I was like, Power Rangers is still on the air? My mom walks by my door. She said, I can't believe that's still on the air. You used to watch that when you was really little.
I remember.
I said, it'd be off the air soon.
Wild Force came on. I was like, this is it. They're done. This is it.
And that was supposed to be it, too.
The Power Rangers in Space was supposed to be it.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the end. Wild Force was supposed to be the end. And then there was another one that was supposed to be the end. They said, screw it, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
You know what? What was the last Disney one? RPM?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be it before Saban brought it back. Because remember, Disney was just going to air reruns after that.
They did. After RPM, they did that
the reversion
of Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
The show was great, but all the add-ons were stupid.
Yeah,
let's throw comic pop-up boxes in the middle of the show.
Yeah, it was completely overdone. It was like pop-up video with Power Rangers with comic book effects.
I just looked and made myself depressed. Wild Force came out my senior year of high school.
Oh, my goodness.
And I remember going, yeah, I'm still watching this, and this show is going to be done soon. And then after Wild Force, we got Ninja Storm, and I loved it. Ninja Storm was awesome.
Yeah, Ninja Storm. That's one of my favorites.
They did a great job with Ninja Storm. They did a great job with SPD.
Yes, SPD. I hate to say it, but like compare In Space and SPD, but those are like two of my favorites right there.
Oh, SPD could have easily been a standalone series.
Oh yeah.
Dino Thunder was great. Even bringing Tommy back. Actually, truth be told, at the time it was before the huge hype of JDF. Bringing Tommy back for that made me really happy. Because I was like, oh, cool, we get to see, a Dino Ranger come back.
He hadn't been back
series
on TV yet at that point, period.
Yeah.
And this is before he got popular with all the conventions.
He had been back on TV.
He had?
He was on Undressed on 2 episodes on MTV. Him, Serena Vincent.
I'm talking about in terms of...
he wasn't on Power Rangers.
Power
he was
Rangers.
on MTV's Undressed.
Yeah. I know he had done other work.
Yeah, he wasn't like another superhero.
Oh, shit. Remember he did Sweet Valley High?
He was a bully on... Family Matters.
He got his ass whooped.
Yeah.
But I also heard he helped with choreography for that too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was cool.
He did.
So he's
you honestly can tell he did a lot of the fight choreography for this episode tonight too. because it was very RSKA, like very much his fighting style. But yeah, I mean, that's just about it that I really want to say about this, man. Like,
it was a good time, man. This was a real night full of nostalgia, really.
Yeah, it really was. They did such a good job. I wouldn't mind an extended cut, like I said, but if they don't do an extended cut, I won't be completely disappointed.
And who knows? We can come back to it again. I mean, we do have a 30-year in 5 years coming up. So, you know, that's probably going to be insane.
I'll be 39.
Shit. How old will I be? I'll be 32. Oh, damn, I'll be 37.
Yeah.
Oh. We're getting old. We got to make shit happen.
Yeah, we got to definitely get some more Ranger suits before we're that old.
While we still
Mighty decrepit geriatric Rangers.
Ooh.
I want some tuna now.
I'm just looking at that stupid tuna commercial.
Those things are $1 at Walmart.
Oh my gosh. We should wrap this up.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you for listening. For all of that are listening, I will send this to D since I am barely on Facebook anymore. He will be posting the link to this on Neo and on the D Harris brand when he gets the video done.
And that's the D Harris brand on Facebook and YouTube. It's D Harris brand on both of those.
Both.
The D Harris brand.
This link will be posted on my Instagram page. That's caged_bishop_cosplay on Instagram. Is it underscore? I actually can't remember if there's underscores in my name now. I'm tired, guys. I had to get up at 5 to get my kid on the bus.
We're recording this at what? What time is it now?
It's 9:48.
9:48.
Yes.
This is bedtime for us now.
Caged_bishop_cosplay on Instagram. It'll, like you said, it'll be on the D Harris brand on not Instagram, on YouTube and on Facebook. I'll post a link on my Twitter, which is also at Exelusprime, AXELUSPRIME. Excuse me. And thanks, guys. I should have done a Facebook, not a Facebook, and Instagram TV video for this too. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we'll knock all that out next time.
Do that.
Yeah, and by the way, that's THE space DEE space Harris HARRIS and the word brand.
BRAND. If y'all can't spell D Harris, I just spell brand. You can't
D Harris brand. Like you can check that out. And what was the last podcast we did?
The last podcast we did was the review of Luke Cage.
Oh yeah!
Season 2.
Oh my goodness! So that's up there too.
2 hours long. So make sure to check that one out.
Yeah.
Before that, my cousin Anthony Pratt and I did a review of Black Lightning, and before that, my father and I did a review of Black Panther, and before that, Anthony and I did a review of, and India did a review of Black Panther.
Yeah. So we got content. So
there's tons of stuff. Season 2 is going hot. Like, this is 12 episodes in now total for both season 1 and season 2. 6 for season 1, 6 for season 2. Thank you guys for listening. For that, I don't want to say a few, but for the few of you that are listening, I appreciate it. It actually means a lot. We're going to try to keep this rolling out. We're going to try to do more content as the months go, even if it's just me talking into the mic, bullshitting about everything. I just want to keep this going. I want to keep this hot. Because this is the way to get that message across nowadays. Podcasting is the way to talk to your friends, talk to your fan base, and it just makes it fun and easy. Because like we talk about this shit for free anyway, so why not talk about it in the podcast?
Yeah, and another thing, whenever we announce what our next podcast is going to be, hell, just shoot one of us a message in the comment box or something on YouTube, and if you got a question or something about any fandom we're reviewing or talking about, even if
there's something you want us to talk about, hit us up. Hit us up. We said that before. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about, hit us up. We're willing to talk about it. We got to get John back on the show. It's just a matter of timing. Like I said, I'd like to do a Power Rangers comic book review again once Shattered Grid is done and catch that all up. I would like to do reviews of other comics that are out because I'm digging The Flash right now, and I'm digging
there's a lot of good material.
Astonishing X-Men, plus all the TV shows coming back this year.
There's a lot of good material. Iron Fist starts next week.
Iron Fist coming back. We definitely have to talk from a martial arts standpoint and from an acting standpoint. We definitely got to talk Iron Fist season 2 when that's over.
Yeah,
we got to dig into that hard and fast.
That'll be better this year. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But anyway, guys, thank you for listening. For those of you that did, we appreciate it. Signing off. We hope that your National Power Rangers Day was more phenomenal. It's Morphin' Time. I've been David Action Jackson.
And D. Harris here, signing off.